As the SGX Nifty is concerned, but well, it's been a bull run on bourses and it's time to somewhat look at your portfolios right now. So how does one construct an ideal one? What are some of the stocks, what are some of the sectors that look attractive from the market expert standpoint right now? Ajay Bodke, investment strategy and advisory for Prabhudas Lilladher is joining in this morning. Ajay, thanks for taking the time out to talk to us. Well, before we get a portfolio construct from you, let's try to understand what's the direction of the market, what's it looking like, because we've seen the markets really be in huge momentum over the last couple of weeks now.
My personal view is that in the run-up to the budget, the market will continue to have a positive bias. Albeit, I think the furious pace at which one has seen the rise over the last few months, I think that could slow down. The market would digest the rise one has seen from 6200 to 7600 in Nifty. We are trading at 15.8 times 1 year forward earnings of 479 rupees, vis-a-vis last 10 years average of 14.8 times. So we are currently trading at around 7% premium. The second valuation measure, Priyank, I look at is MSCI India's premium over MSCI Asia ex of Japan. And there I think we are at 24% vis-a-vis 24% premium. That is the average premium for last 10 years. We are today trading at around 27%. But I think there is nothing to worry insofar as valuations are concerned, because at the peak in Jan 08, we were trading at 25 times 1 year forward earnings. And the MSCI premium, MSCI India premium vis-a-vis MSCI Emerging Asia ex Japan had gone to as high as 45 to 50%. So in the short term, I think maybe some consolidation, but every dip must be used by the investors to buy into the market, and with a caveat that every rise, one should continue to focus only on fundamentally sound stocks which have strong ROEs, which are free cash flows, and a strong earnings growth.
So then, Ajay, in that scenario, let's try and understand an ideal portfolio. What should investors be overweight or underweight on right now in terms of sectors? Just to get a sense from, as far as your ratings are concerned right now, in terms of sectors, how are you positioned and what would you advise investors to do as well?
I think, in my opinion, the portfolio bias should continue to favor cyclicals, essentially leveraging on the revival in the moribund investment cycle by the new government over the next couple of quarters. At the same time, I think one should also have small allocations to the defensive sectors. And this is essentially because, Priyank, the global economy, after remaining tepid for the last 3 to 4 years, is on a firmer footing, is expected to grow at around 3.6% as per IMF, led mainly by the US. And hence the IT and pharma sectors, which derive a majority of their earnings from the global sector, from the global economy, also need to have some allocation, although they are encountering massive headwinds in terms of an appreciating currency. Insofar as sectoral weightages are concerned, I think, as I said, cyclicals remain sort of favored in our opinion. Banking and financials, the biggest daddy of them all, having around 27.5% weightage in Nifty. I think I would say that we need to have an overweight of at least 500 to 600 basis point over the benchmark in case of BFSI sector.
So
capital goods and engineering is another sector where we would be having an overweight position. We'd also be having an overweight position in cement sector. Insofar as oil and gas is concerned and autos is concerned, we would be market weight. And insofar as defensives like FMCG, IT and pharma are concerned, we would be underweight.
So when you're talking about banking, Ajay, within this sector, what are some of your top picks at this point of time?
I would be looking at the BFSI in two broader themes. The first theme obviously is an improvement in the investment cycle will lead to a large amount of problems that the banks, and in particular PSU banks, are facing, increased NPAs and restructured assets. I think we are already seeing in case of some of the larger banks that the recoveries and the upgrades have started exceeding the fresh slippages. And this trend is only going to strengthen as the economy revives. And hence, many of these banks which were trading at substantial discount to the book, or even today they are trading at around book or slight premium to the book, in my opinion, will start trading at higher multiples as their ROEs start improving. And hence, I think a bank like State Bank of India in the large cap space, in PSUs, as well as in the mid cap space, banks like Union Bank, UCO Bank and Andhra Bank, I think should be looked at with a medium term perspective. The second strand that I would be playing in case of BFSI would be an improvement in consumption. I think as so the investment cycle sort of comes into play, the job prospects improve, employment prospects look up, and hence I think some of the retail banks in the private sector like HDFC Bank, Axis Bank and Federal Bank along with ICICI Bank is what I would be looking at. So the BFSI I would be looking at in two halves. One, a direct play on revival in economy being played through PSBs and sort of improvement in consumption aiding some of the private sector banks.
Okay, and when it comes to infra and engineering, tell us some of your picks there as well, because as you said, still skewed towards the cyclicals.
I think here again, the expectation of a revival in the moribund investment cycle will be, in my opinion, aiding the engineering and capital goods space. The turnaround in process industries like oil and gas, cement, steel, non-ferrous metals, textiles, sugar, I think will lead to a massive surge in demand for boilers, heat exchangers, industrial motors, instrumentation equipment, the T&D equipment, switch gears. And here I think the companies ideally placed to leverage from this are companies like Thermax, Crompton Greaves, and of course the biggest of them all, Larsen & Toubro. I think vis-a-vis a Nifty weight of around say 7 to 8%, I think I'd certainly be looking at going overweight by a few hundred basis points, at least 300 to 400 basis points in case of capital goods and engineering sector. The other related sector is infra sector, the asset owners. So here again, I think I'll be concentrating on those companies which have a clear plan to monetize some of their assets, to deleverage and to repair their balance sheets, because that will help in terms of improving their cash flows. It will also inject confidence among lenders to extend loans to them when new projects come up for bidding. And there I think a stock like JP Associates is what I'd be looking at, and I'd be looking at buying that stock on declines.
So then, Ajay, when we talk about a couple of the stocks and sectors out there, and you mentioned about the IT and the pharma pack as well, are these the sectors to actually avoid right now? If investors actually have these sectors, would you recommend them to book out of it?
I think in the IT and pharma, as I said, I think one cannot be outrightly negative, because the demand environment both in America and Europe, I think, is on the mend. We are seeing pricing power coming back to these companies. Volume growth this year will be better than what it was last year. So fundamentally, I think things are on the mend. What is acting as the biggest headwind for this sector is this surge of inflows in the Indian economy, leading to a sharp appreciation of the rupee. But that is causing a lot of concern among investors, and that will continue to weigh on the fortunes of these companies. They will try to alleviate some of these concerns by employing smart hedging techniques, but there is a limit to the benefits that they can derive in case of unrelenting inflows of dollars in the Indian economy over the next few years. So I think from that perspective, and also let's not forget that for 3 to 4 years, when the cyclicals were out of favor, I think most of the fund managers had very large overweight positions in the defensives, and hence I think the top slicing also sort of will continue to lead to supply sort of coming into the market. So I would sort of be underweight in these sectors. I will look at specific stocks where fundamentally I think we are positive. In case of IT, stock like Tech Mahindra comes into mind, and in case of pharmaceuticals, Dr. Reddy's comes to mind.
Ajay, how would you advise investors as well in terms of the cement space? Because we've really seen the sector see a revised interest. So does it fit into your ideal portfolio?
As I said, I think the ideal portfolio would be sort of bias towards cyclicals because we are looking at a multi-year improvement in the macroeconomic variables. We are looking at the investment cycle coming back, and hence a revival in the manufacturing sector, aiding the banking sector, capital goods and engineering sector, infrastructure sector, and let's not forget cement sector. I think this is one sector I did not touch upon. I think cement is an ideal play because unlike the other global commodities like steel, non-ferrous metals or crude oil, where a slowing China is having an impact on the global prices, limiting the pricing power of the domestic players. Cement, I think, is a local commodity, and hence I think the improving dynamics within India can help the pricing power of the cement players. We already are seeing the embryonic signs of improvement in pricing power. We have seen a price increases across the sectors, and it's more pronounced, in my opinion, in southern India, where the capacity utilizations have been at multi-year lows. The fact that the largest market, Andhra Pradesh, was docked due to Telangana agitation, and no construction activity happened out there for last many years. With the formation of 2 new states, a surge of investment activity will start happening in Simandra, where a new capital is being built, and also in Telangana, I think, where the new government wants to get the economy going. Also, I think, so in that case, I think companies like the Ramco Cements should form part of the core portfolio, and on an overall basis, I think ACC should be looked at sort of, with a medium-term perspective.
All right, Ajay, fair enough. Thanks so much for joining in this morning with that perspective in terms of what an ideal portfolio should be looking like. Right now, it's a view coming in from Prabhudas Leeladhar out there.
All right, let's take a break. Coming up next, market guru Sanjeev Prasad of Kotak Institutional Equities will be joining us.